Okay, right. So this is a new tutorial. I was watching YouTube the other day, some tutorial also because I watch a lot of tutorials. And this one is about how to build a foliage growing in a kind of a field or something. And the guy had some geometry there, like a rock and pretty cool stuff. So I had this idea of building foliage, little like bits of grass growing on top of this field. And he managed to control it from left to right. So it was pretty cool to see. And I thought to myself, okay, so maybe we can also build something similar in Nuke. Let's see if we can do it. And we can. So this is the tutorial of me testing possible solutions for this. This is running 2 times the speed, I believe. It took me 1.5 hours, and then I had another half an hour today just to wrap it up. So this was a very fast test, but where the final conclusion is yes, we can do it. It will be much more heavy to render than in Unreal, because the engine in Unreal is made for this kind of a real-time stuff. But it doesn't mean that we cannot do it. And it's, anyways, a very good exercise how to deal with particles again. And we can even make the little grass, little foliage stuff grow and move a little bit, so it's not so static. And I'm gonna put some music from the dub techno mix long film channel again. This guy has some amazing sets, and yeah, so follow along. You see that I found a bunch of little grass assets and Unreal library. They are free to download, and this is a educational purpose, so there is no problem. So you'll see that I have it. I mean, the initial setup is very quick and easy. You see also that my computer crashes a couple of times, and because we will generate a lot of particles moving, growing, so it's a bit heavy. Eventually I'll separate the system. Now I'm having them all connected, merged together, but I'll see eventually that it makes it more unstable and makes me have less control of the wiping animation that makes them goes from not being there to being there. You guys can see that. So this is just a normal texture, which is like a random green and yellow stuff. And yeah, so I'm gonna let you guys watch this, and if you have any questions, of course, write something. We finally crossed 100 people in this channel, so I think we can also start chatting on the comment section. If I can't answer, someone will possibly be available. At this point I was trying to have also like a grass field, but eventually I stopped because that was not the focus and I was wasting time on this. So you'll see this experiment of the little field behind. It will be eventually removed. But anyways, you see that I will make like a soft selection, and some folks are not used to the soft selection tool, so even that you can maybe learn something useful. All right, I'm gonna leave the music and I'll be back at the end to do like an overview, quick overview of all of the stuff that we did. And yeah, I'll catch you guys at the end of it. Okay, so this is the end of this tutorial. I'll just go give like a quick overview of what was done here. So first I found the assets, the little grassy things, these little guys here. Found a bunch of them. This is quite easy to find online. So there's a bunch of this kind of stuff. They're quite big. See there's some variation to them, which is nice. And then I just emitted from the log, which is another asset, which is this guy here. This is pretty cool. Some kind of photogrammetry stuff. Pretty cool and pretty low poly count, so it's not so heavy. And then I just emitted all the grassy things from onto the geometry edges. It's not perfect because in some cases, because the log has some holes, you see inside, the little grass will probably be sticking inside of that, but you know, it's indeed looking cool anyways. So what I have noticed is that the grass, a bunch of them are looking the same way, but if you duplicate the input and add a little transform, you will add more variation. Even if you have a lot of grasses and they're all made facing look like the same, they're all facing left side, for example. To avoid that, you can add variation here, because you cannot add variation on the velocity of the placement itself. Or not that I know, maybe there is a way, but I'm not sure. So what I do is I just take a transform node, add some rotation to it, and add that as another input, so it will add more variation. On top of the scale and stuff, it will be more variation to the side. For the purpose of this tutorial, I did only in a few, but you can obviously do in all of them. So the thing is, to be able to emit, as you guys saw in the video, I had to use a particle curve to make them all size 0. And then I have another particle curve with a region animated, which is this giant sphere here, that when it goes out or in, it will make them go from scale 0. See, they will eventually pop. If you give this more time, they will not pop plop, plop, like this. So you know, they will be more coming from 0, but you need to give it more time. Nice. And then just cache the stuff. I had another particle system, you know, because I didn't want the particles to be born all at the same time following the sphere thing. So to be able to have this with the sphere add variation, you can't do it here. So you need to have another system with another particle curve, making them all tiny. Come on, it's calculating. Go. As you can see, it really needs more variation. It's all facing the left, the same side. But then when you add the sphere, it looks like this. So this is the one I made to cover more of the log itself. This is the big one. It's the one that should be covering more. And to avoid them being born, because I duplicated the system here, you just change the seed. So it's not the same seed, so they will not be born on the same face, exactly the same face. So same here, more variation. That is still, we could make more variation, but you know, you get the idea. Particle curve, the same little guy that will fade them in or out. Yeah, see, this also has a bunch of particles, then cache again, and then another one. And I really recommend caching it, because you saw in the video it crashed my Nuke a couple of times. So all of them I added a tiny little rotation speed, tiny, with a bit of variation, so they don't rotate exactly the same. Tiny. So just to keep them alive a little bit, so they're not so, you know, so they have some movement and some life to it. Cache it, merge them, merge all of them together. To take a little bit of time to position them there, right? You can see the shape, and then you merge that on top of the log geometry itself. Right. I did expand a little bit more on the video, but I always like to have like a ending overview at the end, so why it's not showing the log. Oh yeah. Okay, I am finding this interface sometimes a bit buggy with this new Nuke 15. As you can see, stuff is blinking. Anyways, yeah, see, you can add more if you want. I mean, this is just a concept, proof of concept. Add some light to it, and this will be a heavy render. So I did it very small because I wanted to have a quick result to see if it was working or not. But I didn't know. I saw some YouTube video online of a guy showing how to do it on Houdini or Unreal, I'm not sure now. And I thought to myself, maybe I can do this stuff in Nuke also. Let's see. And we can. It will be heavy to render because our engine, like 3D engine, is not designed to be real time, but we can definitely make it. So render this guy. I render with low quality, very low quality. You can obviously render with higher quality if you have access to a farm, or if you want to leave the computer overnight. It's up to you. So what I did was to stick cameras around the object, so the whole system with the log and the particles and blah blah blah, they're all in one place, and then I have cameras around them. As you can see, another camera here very close to the bottom, which is cool. I can stick the cameras all here so it's easy to see. Have another one right there, nice. Another one from the bottom. Let's see if I can stick them here, and another guy there. So this is a good way of training yourself how to think, because this is how we should be always thinking when we build an environment solution like this, because you want the geometry or the asset or your scene to be in one position, in one place, and you can have several shots filming it from different angles. So which means that if the supervisor or the client or whoever decides to change anything here and not the camera, you can, and you have this live to all the shots. If you change the asset here, all the renders will automatically update, because they're all looking at the same environment. So then we have the result, which is this. Right, you can position the cameras however you want. It's super cool, very interesting stuff. Definitely, if you have more time, it can look super nice. I did this in like 1.5 hours, I believe. So I also have like, I did like a quick background here. So I have this, which is a lens bokeh I found from this website, Pixel Lab. Make a little stamp for the kernel. Then I made a little background as well, some vignetting and stuff on the side, just a generic one. Made a little stamp because we will use the same. One detail that all of the cameras, they are behaving very similar, and I want them to. I want the shots to feel they are from the same shooting. So one way of doing this is having the ZF or the focus behaving the same. So they're all linked. The minimum distance and maximum distance of the focus the same, which means that if you can change the focus point, the focus plane, all you want, but because how the focus is behaving between the shots is similar, they will all feel connected, even if you have different lenses. So this is a 35, this one also 35, but this is a different one, 65, yeah. This is a wider one, yeah, 28. So so you have some consistency between the shots. You don't have to use the same lens, but let's say they will all have the same kind of a f-stop speed, so they will all look the same, like if from the same family or something. So I just did a quick Z work here to give me a little bit of a depth, some grading to make it more punchy, added some kind of a foggy thing. So use the ZF as a mask and add the background we did. Right, so it's not flat and it's not also you can make it even a bit more visible if you want, more foggy stuff. So this I would also recommend having the same. You can copy this, link this to the other guys, so they all feel from the same environment, right? So they all feel similar. There's a little bit of a grading here just to add back some contrast, because this tends to wash the image. There's some small distortion, a little bit compensated here. You can add some chromatic aberration if you like. If it's a bit too much, something like this. Let's see, there are several cool chromatic aberration things on Vimeo, on Wikipedia, so you can choose the one you like more. I took this random one just to show, and then you stick the focus there. You can animate the focus pull if you want to follow the things being born or not. It's up to you. And yeah, so this is more like an experiment. I was curious to see how far we can go, and now that I spent like 2 hours in total in this, I believe it is totally doable. Obviously, we can work a bit better on the integration, like the little grass are too bright. We can change that. Several things, right? Add more variation so they are not pointing the same direction. These kinds of things. But overall, I think it's a successful test. Yeah, this is nonetheless good exercise. So now I'll just play back the preview of all the cameras we have, all the renders, and you can see the small rotation from the particle, give them a little bit of life. after they are born, so they're not static, they're slightly moving. I think it's a cool solution. Let's see this guy. Yeah, it can take a bit of time to process stuff, but it totally works. On a like for real commercial version, I would add more of the tiny ones, so and make them really small to make them look like they are moss, kind of a moss on top of the log, because the actual log texture has some moss on it. See, so this is from the texture itself. So if I would add more of the tiny one and like a bunch of them, so you have this moss coverage moving. That one can be cool and can be done. So that's something that we can also improve. Yeah, pretty cool. Let's see this little guy here. And I did render this the fastest way possible, because it doesn't make sense to have like make the computer suffer and render overnight. If it's just a proof of concept, we can learn from this a lot. So see, there's one guy inter overlapping here the geometry. So this we can mask out eventually. You know, all of this can be tweaked. Let's see this one. And I did also a very quick Z def with a kernel. Nothing special. I did not even touch a bunch of this. I just add some gamma correction to have some bokeh balls, more clear ones, but no like actual work on this. Yeah, so this and this angle, we feel that the little stuff is popping, pop. So to go around this, to make the animation of the sphere that changes the scale is lower, maybe half the speed, and render more frames. So at the end you could time warp and control, so have it slower at the beginning to feel the grass growing from 0 to normal scale. Then we can make it faster again. So it's very flexible. That's the thing. Once you have it inside of Nuke, it's totally flexible. Once you have a working template, yeah, it has potential. At least it proves that we can do this kind of stuff inside.